I once believed with absolute certainty that Susan was my forever. We had been a couple for 4 years, engaged for 6 months, and in my mind, there was no question. I had chosen the woman I would grow old with. I wasn't naive to who she was. Susan had always been vivacious, charming, a social magnet who thrived on attention. She was flirtatious by nature, the kind of person who naturally drew eyes when she walked into a room. Maybe somewhere deep inside, I had always suspected that she thrived on more than just innocent attention from other men. But whenever I voiced even the smallest insecurity, she would laugh, cup my face, and whisper, "Babe, you know I'd never cheat on you. I love you." And I believed her, until the night that proved how wrong I'd been. It was a Friday, and I came home drained from another long week, eager for nothing more than a cold beer and a quiet evening on the couch. Susan had been going on all week about how exhausted she was, how she just needed some me time. When I walked into the kitchen, she was there taking off her earrings, stretching her arms with exaggerated yawns. "Ugh, I'm so done. I'm just gonna shower and crash early," she muttered. I smiled, sympathetic. "You deserve it. Want me to make you some tea before bed?" She kissed my cheek and shook her head. "Nah, I'll be out in 10 minutes anyway." Then she disappeared into the bedroom and closed the door. Nothing about it seemed strange, just another night. I grabbed a beer, put Netflix on, and sank into the couch. I wasn't expecting anything unusual. Then my phone buzzed. A Snapchat notification. From Emily, one of Susan's closest friends. Strange. Emily and I barely spoke, so at first I considered ignoring it. But curiosity got the better of me, and I opened it. My chest froze. Loud music blared through the speakers, neon lights flashed across the screen, and a crowd of bodies pulsed on a packed dance floor. The video panned across a group of women I recognized instantly, Susan's friends. And there, in the middle of them, was Susan. Not at home. Not asleep. At a nightclub, arm draped around a guy I didn't know, leaning into his face with a laugh that looked far too intimate. She whispered something in his ear, her hand on his jaw, looking every bit the opposite of someone who had gone to bed early. The clip ended, but my hand stayed frozen on my phone, stomach churning like I had been punched. I sat there in silence, staring at the black screen, my mind scrambling to deny what I had just seen. Finally, I texted her. "Hey, you still awake?" Her reply came immediately. "Hey babe. No, already asleep." Why? Face blowing a kiss. I almost laughed at the audacity. No pause. No hesitation. She lied like she'd done it 100 times before. And that's when it hit me. This wasn't a slip-up. This wasn't an accident. She was practiced. She was comfortable. Susan wasn't making a mistake. She was living a double life. And she thought I was too stupid to ever catch on. That was the exact moment I decided I wouldn't just leave her. I would burn her entire facade to the ground. Instead of confronting her right then, I started digging. I opened her social media, scrolling through years of posts. There he was. The same guy from the Snapchat, appearing again and again. Group photos, parties, casual hangouts, music festivals. Sometimes he was just in the background. Other times he was right beside her, laughing with her like they'd known each other for ages. The comments underneath turned my stomach. Inside jokes. References to dares and nights she owed him for. Another friend chimed in. "Still can't believe she actually went through with it." I didn't need details to guess what that meant. Then I checked our phone bill. We shared a plan, so every call and text showed up in the history. And there it was, his number. Daily texts. Midnight calls that lasted hours. The pattern stretched back over a year. This wasn't some random fling. This was a full-blown secret relationship she'd been cultivating under my nose. I barely slept that night. I just lay in bed staring at her as she breathed peacefully beside me, thinking about all the nights I'd trusted her, never once questioning where she was or who she was talking to. When morning came, she woke up stretching, smiling, yawning like nothing was wrong. "Morning, babe." I swallowed down the acid burning in my throat. "Sleep well?" She nodded, rubbing her eyes. "Yeah, I was out like a rock." I stared at her, playing dumb. Casually I asked, "Hey, didn't you stay in last night?" She didn't blink. "Yeah, of course. Just went to bed early." That's when I pulled out my phone and showed her the Snapchat. Her face blanched for half a second, pure panic. But just as quickly, she pasted on a smirk and rolled her eyes. Oh my God, you're being dramatic. It was a game, Rob. Truth or dare. Nothing serious. I clenched my jaw so tightly I thought my teeth might crack. A game? That's how little my trust meant to her. She wasn't apologetic. She wasn't ashamed. She was annoyed that I caught her. And in that moment, I knew screaming at her would be pointless. That's what she wanted, for me to explode so she could frame it as me overreacting. So instead, I nodded, forcing calm into my voice. You're right. I overreacted. Her relief was almost instant. She actually thought I bought it. She had no idea that as she went about her day, texting and laughing, I was preparing the end of her carefully crafted image. We had a wedding planned. Not a small one either. Over 100 guests, a fancy venue, her dream dress, catering, friends, family, coworkers, everyone. We had a group chat where we shared updates and excitement. It was meant to bring everyone together. Instead, it would serve as my weapon. The next morning, as she slept beside me, I made one final adjustment. I added more people to the chat, her parents, her boss, a few of my extended family. And at exactly 7 a.m., I pressed send. Wedding cancelled. Cheater alert. Just letting everyone know Susan wasn't in bed early last night. She was at a club, wrapped around another guy. For those who need proof, see attached. I won't be marrying a liar. Consider this official. It took less than 2 minutes for the group chat to detonate. Her mother. Susan. What is he talking about? Her father. Tell me this isn't true. My best man. Holy SHD. Asterisk, one of Susan's friends immediately left the chat. My phone buzzed nonstop with calls. I ignored them all. Next to me, Susan stirred awake as her phone lit up again and again. She groaned, grabbed it, and then sat bolt upright as she saw the flood of messages. What did you do? She screamed. I took a calm sip of my coffee, just letting everyone know the wedding's off. She scrolled furiously, her face draining of color. You posted that in the group chat. Well, you told me I was overreacting. Figured everyone else deserved a chance to weigh in. Her phone rang. Her mother. Susan hesitated, then answered. Mom, I can explain. Click. The line went dead. Susan's hands shook violently. You ruined me. Do you know what you've done? My parents are going to disown me. I shrugged. Maybe you should have thought about that before lying to me. Her father called me directly. Robert, is it true? I didn't even have to say anything. My silence was enough. I'm sorry you had to go through this, he said quietly before hanging up. Susan collapsed back onto the bed, staring at the wall in shock. She wasn't crying. She wasn't yelling. She just knew it was over. By the time the dust settled, it was worse than she could have imagined. Her boss found out through mutual connections. Friends she thought would defend her ghosted her. Her parents cut her off financially. The venue refused to refund the deposit. And since the lease was in my name, she had 30 days to move out. A week later, I got a text. I messed up. I miss you. Can we talk? I stared at it for a moment, then deleted it without replying. That was the last time I ever thought about Susan. Do you want me to also add more inner thoughts/emotional reactions, like how his trust shattered and what was going through his mind in detail? Or keep it at this level of narration?